Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations, and I am doing another 31 Days of Cut Files video, as well as combining that with Stitches and Stencils, which is a series that I do with MK over at Some Assemblage Required and Sandie over at State Goddess. And the whole premise is to do some stitching and stenciling on your layout. I am using the cut file for today from 31 Days of Cut Files, which is one that MK designed. It is a fantastic cut file and I really like it. It really made me think of, I don't know why it made me think of like rocket launches and stuff. So I have I have several photos from the escape room that we did on board the Royal Caribbean cruise that we hosted a class on last February. And so I am going to document that. This is me just standing in front of the sign for the escape room. It was set up like the NASA control room, I guess. And there were quite a few challenges to solve. It was very complex, much better than any escape room. Not that I've done a ton, but better than any escape room I've seen on land. And so the fact that they had this on the ship was really fantastic. And again, it was top notch, done very well. And we had a lot of fun doing it, even though I am terrible at escape room type things and figuring out all of that kind of stuff under pressure. There were several of the ladies that joined us, and actually one of the husbands as well, one of the ladies' husbands. And it was just, it was fantastic. I spent some time participating in the actual solving of stuff, but when I got stuck, I finally was like, I'm going to take pictures. And I was really glad I did, because I don't think very many people actually had the camera out. They were so involved in solving the puzzles that there were not a lot of other photos taken. So I took tons of photos and shared them with everyone, and we had a really good time doing this. So my title here is going to be Give It a Whirl, like let's go and try this escape room out and see what we can do. And I am layering up the cut file with a couple of other types of film strips. The gray one is from 49 and Market. This black one I believe is a Tim Holtz one, and it's either Tim Holtz or it's a Hobby Lobby. They're very similar. So I'm really liking how this is looking with the vertical design. And I'm going to be real honest. I totally got so involved in creating this that I completely forgot about the stitching and the stenciling. That's how involved I got in this layout. I'm using products from Chamel, her field trip collection for American Crafts. It's been around for quite some time. Don't know if you can get any of it anymore, because it's been around, like I said, for a long time. And but I love the collection, and I'm so glad I had some of this space and rocket ship type of ephemera to add to this page. Now I have so many photos from it, obviously. Well, maybe it's not obvious, but I'm not just going to use one photo of me standing in front of it, especially since I took so many photos inside. I'm actually going to do a pocket page next to this to include several more photos and a large journaling spot, so that I can write a little bit more about the event and the trying to solve the puzzles that were all involved, and who all participated and all of that good stuff. So the two little center photos are actually photos of diagrams they had on the wall inside of the escape room. They had so many, you guys. I took a lot of photos of those kind of things, but these are the ones that I'm using for the most part. I really liked them. It has like the rocket and all of the parts of the rocket and all that kind of stuff. And one of them is actually like a form to fill out with, I think it was like sequences or something like that. I don't have it in front of me right now, so I can't actually tell you what it says on it, but I thought it was really cool. So spoiler alert, since I totally forgot about the stitching and the stenciling, I had everything done. And then I looked at my calendar and went, oh man, it's Stitches and Stencils. I should have added something. So I'm really happy that the American Crafts paper is actually really made quite well, because I peel everything off of this layout, you guys, and add my stenciling and then put everything back on, and then I add my stitching. Yeah, it was a lot of work, but I'm glad I did it because I actually really like the texture and the stencil, what the stencil adds to this layout. And so I thought it looked really cool when all is said and done. And so we'll get to that in just a bit here, but I am going to show you how I put together the pocket page that I'm going to add to it, because I felt like this is more like a triple page layout, I guess you would say, because it's the front and the back of the pocket page, which is why this video is just a little bit longer than I have been doing for 31 days of cut files. But I feel like it's also still not that long. It's only just over 15, and it's about 15 and a half minutes, so it's not super long. But I do back the entire thing with white cardstock, and I really like how that frames everything out, since I've got a white frame around my photos, and then I've got that white cut file. I think it just really adds to it. I'm going through the field trip foam stickers, or puffy stickers, not foam, the puffy stickers, and I'm seeing what I can add to this. Then I'm going to use as many of those on the pocket page as I can, and I will add a little bit of, or a few clusters over on the pocket pages, just so that it ties it all together. And since I brought in the pink tags, I'm going to bring in some pink over here as well. You can see I've already matted my photos and picked my pocket cards, and that's all I've done so far. So photos are matted, pocket cards are in. I especially have to mat everything because my photos are printed on my selfie, so they are not true 4x6, so I definitely have to have something behind them. I had one of the specialty papers from one of Chamel's collections. I believe it was from her Glitter Girl collection. It's like a bluish purple flocked paper that has rose gold stars on it. And so that is what I cut up and used behind my photos, and then or three of the photos on each side, and then the other one matches the matting that I did on the main page with the single photo. And I know it seems like it might be a waste to use a piece of specialty cardstock for this, but I hadn't used it so far. I don't see myself using it in the future right away, and I have quite a bit of specialty cardstock. You can actually see it right there underneath that piece that says solar system. That is actually the specialty cardstock. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's a pretty good match to that rocket ship paper, and the fact that it has the stars on it. Not that you can see a ton of them, but it has enough on there that I think it, especially behind this little card, it looks really good. But I do have to use a little liquid glue to hold it down because of the flocking. The ATG tape doesn't stay really great, or at least I didn't feel like it was going to, so I went ahead and just used a little Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And then I went through the sticker sheet for Field Trip and picked out some things that had some pink on them, because I definitely used pink on the other page, and then I used the red and the blue, and so I definitely want to make them look like they go together. And I think by using the sticker sheet and the puffy stickers, I definitely accomplished that. Now there is a little bit of yellow that I used also, and then there's yellow in some of the photos. So I did have to find a piece of yellow paper in my scrap bin, and I used a punch to punch out a label to bring that yellow in somewhere else, because I felt like it didn't really have enough of that. And some of the yellow in the stickers on the sticker sheet are not really the right yellow. They're kind of more a green yellow, whereas the ones in the color in the photos is not quite so green. It's a little bit less green. So just kind of playing off of that and trying to make everything kind of coordinate, and I'm not using or creating a cluster on every single photo. I'm just kind of going here and there, if you will. So trying to figure out where to use those other puffy rocket ships. I do end up using them on the back side, And I moved my photos around here a couple of times just to kind of get them so that they looked more balanced. And I'm pretty happy with the way that they came out so far. So now I am adding a little liquid glue to try and hold these stars on the outside of my page protectors. And the little stars are so small, they don't really stay. And so I'm going to end up moving them off when I'm off camera. They're going to be inside the pocket page because I found that they kept just popping off. There's not enough surface room for them to stick on the plastic. And I also tried glue dots and they don't stick to the glue dots. Imagine that. I have no idea. Here's the label that I went ahead and just punched, and I really like how that looks up here in the corner, and I think it just balances everything out since I've got that kind of greenish yellow everywhere going on, especially in the photos. So that is pretty much it, you guys, for the actual layout. I am going to go back and show you what I do to add the stenciling. So I have this stencil, it's from Paper Rose, and I want to say it's called HUD, H-U-D, but I'm not 100% sure of that. I will, if they still have it available, I'll put a link for it down below. Using some paper glaze in Snowdrop White, I believe is what it's called, and then Artemisia Silver. And what I was doing there is I was measuring to see how it would fit around the outside of the circular part of the cut file. And so it's just going to look like there's more circles around this cut file, and I really like the way that it ends up looking. Feels very I don't know what the right word is for it. It feels very mechanical and engineering wise. Engineering? Is that even a word? I don't know. But very sciencey. So I'm liking the way that that's looking. I guess I didn't actually use the silver. Did I use silver? My goodness. I thought I used silver, but maybe I used the black. I am actually trying to see what I used because, no, it is silver. I think it's just picking up a black color on the camera, but once it's in the pot, but once it's on the stencil, it is definitely silver. Sorry about that, you guys. I was second guessing myself for a moment there, but I'm really liking how it looks. And then I'm going to add more behind my photograph, and then I will go with a third spot as well. So thankfully, like I said, the paper is made very well. It didn't tear any of it. I was pleasantly surprised because I was certain I was going to end up tearing something, but I didn't, and I'm very happy with the way that it came out. The one thing about the paper glaze that if you haven't used it before, you should know, it dries very, very fast. A lot faster than most of the other texture pastes that I have used. So there's a couple of spots where it kind of like smushed through the stencil, which wasn't a big deal, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't end up with it anywhere else. I did end up cleaning up those spots with the multi-purpose tool, that little blue tool up in the upper left-hand corner, where I just scraped it off right away on the layout, so it looked a little cleaner, and it wiped off just fine. I didn't have any problems with it, but it does dry fast, so you have to kind of move quickly with it and then go wash your stencil quickly because it will dry right on your stencil very quickly. By the time I was done with these 3 spots that I end up doing, I really kind of had to run and wash quickly because I was afraid it was going to just dry right on there. Now you don't get to see me put the stitching on. I have to do that off camera just because I'm not set up to video that at this point. But I run a vertical stitch in 3 spots, following kind of the lines of the film strips going up and down. I don't stitch right over the edge of the film strip. I kind of stitch between them. You'll see it in the close-ups. I chose to do a black stitch. I know a white would have been a good option as well, but I went with black just because I do have some black on this layout, and I felt like I needed a little bit more in a different area. So you can see those stitched lines at the top and at the bottom of the cut file. and then I did go around the entire layout with a black stitch. And that is pretty much it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and you can see what, or you can really see what the stitching and stenciling added to this layout, just because you saw the whole layout pretty much done beforehand, and now you're seeing it after. Don't forget to go check out what MK and Sandie are doing on their channels for Stitches and Stencils. Links are down below, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.